This is a little embarrassing, but Lucy told me, she's like, you don't have to be embarrassed about this. They want to see Leche.
Leche. Davey broke out the Leche.
And please explain to the audience what the fuck Leche is.
Leche is the Spanish word for milk. And they want to see your man juice. And I get embarrassed when I can't make that in front of them. And Lucy's like, you don't have to be embarrassed by that. She's like, we understand you can't do that every time.
Lucy from Colombia.
She's not in Colombia right now. She's stuck in Mexico City.
Who's ever out there in podcast land? This is not made up shit. He said, JC and I just offered you shade from the tree of wisdom. And not only do you not take up shade from the tree, you violently and actively refuse it. You're like, go stake me down in the middle of the desert underneath an electrical blanket. No, he took a chainsaw to the He cut down the tree of wisdom. Fuck the shade. I got an idea. Let's cut it down. Let's stay in the wood and let's stay in the sun. I'm like, what happened? Like, samples, Jordan. I'm like, sample. You locked the door, you closed the blind, you didn't shut the fucking window. Oh, staff's are not, I'm like, God, you're just. How do you set the mood at like 1600 on a Wednesday? Where your brother's going up and down the catwalk, you're like, let me go and take care of this real quick.
And that's why it was the best. I mean, no fucking lie. We kicked his door in so much that he had to slide the rack. So where the rack would catch once the door got kicked in, because you couldn't lock it anymore because we kicked it in so many times.
Experience in Vegas. Don't ever buy a girl in Vegas. I paid, it was like $500 for a freaking hand job. And that was it.
Oh my God. That's it?
Yeah, that's all that I got out of this girl. They want to see the Leche. I can only make it maybe twice.
Christ, Tatty, everybody's been in a big fight but me. Good, you're going to the Korengal Valley tomorrow with Rice. Are 2 days into this magic in Chattanooga. And what have we landed ourselves in this afternoon? We'll just look across from you. Oh boy. We got three of the baddest NCOs to walk the face of God's green earth. At least two of the baddest to walk God's green earth. And one just walks the earth.
I got to tell you, this has been a wonderful week. This has been so much fun. I have one regret.
You got to hold it up to your mouth.
I have one regret.
Poser to that. Poser.
Listen, it's like the dick she used to hold, right?
Brother, you held up the devil horns like you were ready to rock and said you had one regret.
I have one regret.
He still did.
My favorite girl, I'm going to make this clear. She is not my girlfriend. We do not date. She works at Hooters. She is gorgeous. She loves football.
Hold it,
she loves the military. She would have loved to have seen this.
First of all, she's not your girlfriend. She's just a fucking waitress.
Well, I enjoy my time with her. What do you want me to tell you? She's gorgeous. She is the cutest girl I can find.
So is this a make-believe girlfriend that you worked up in your fucking head?
Did that before.
Is it a dream that you wish she was with you to see it, right? Or is this, would it ever have been even the realm of possibility if she could have gotten off of work that she would have traveled to Chattanooga to see all this?
No, I don't know.
Well,
she would not come to a different state with me. No way. And no, we're not going to FaceTime her. I'll be back next Friday.
Wait. You got her number?
Yes, I have her number.
Is it a real number?
Yes.
Did you try it?
Yes. We text.
I bet you didn't.
Yes. We text.
All right, Matt, I got to cut you off real quick just because the fans that are watching right now, you kind of came in hot. So you got to introduce. So when it comes to you being a lady lancer, as you so-called like to say.
Closer, hold it a little closer.
How many girlfriends of Hooters are you actually dating at this point? And what consists of you actually dating them?
Well, no, I don't. I'm not. No, I don't date these women.
You just give them money for free?
Don't substitute.
We have a good time together. I'll put it that way.
What's your definition of a good time, man?
I'm happy to see her and be with her.
All right. You enjoy her company. I'm sure she enjoys yours, right?
I hope so, yeah.
How much money do you usually leave for a tip?
I tip her well.
She likes
You understand that 50% is the average, right?
Yes, I put in bets for her. She's a big Eagle fan.
Hold on a second. Are you using your money for her bets or her money?
No, it's my money. I give her the winnings. I put in bets.
Wait a minute. You make bets on her behalf with your own money.
Yeah.
And you give her the winnings.
Yeah. It's fun.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is real.
Hey, so let's. So
You can't make this shit up.
Tell them who it is.
First of all, let's get a proper introduction. Most people that know this man has his name in their phone as Stool.
Don't say
So-
that. You're going to have some girl on Florida calling you that.
So first of all, everybody gets a nickname in the Marine Corps, or you use your last name.
You talk. Hold on.
His last name, his full name is Matt Sample. Everybody, and they still do, call him Stool. Stool Sample. I'm done.
So here we are in Chattanooga at our reunion for 2025. We finally made it down here. And we got 3 of our guys with us that we've known since March of 2004. That magical time when you and me showed up in 3rd Battalion, 6th Marines.
And it was magical.
Buddy. And I remember our first morning there to go over and meet the Marines. And I remember walking through the fog. Now, we'd already met Sean Christ. Everybody knows Sean. We'd already met Dave Taddy, but we go through the fog.
Mike, right for your belt, JC.
We go through the fog, and we hear a kid from the duty hut saying, "We got these 2 guys coming off the drill field."
They got another thing coming if they think they're going to change some shit.
And at that point, we were both introduced to one Matthew T. Sample.
Right there.
And to
On duty.
and much to my luck and yours, I ended up as his platoon sergeant, and you ended up going to Afghanistan with us, and we fought in the same valley and had to deal with Matt for a long 7 months.
Tell that story about when Matt, he's the only one that really never been in a firefight yet. And he begged you to go get in a firefight.
Once let JC finish that one, then we'll go right into that because that's hilarious.
So Matt comes to me, he's like, "Staff Sergeant," he goes, "I haven't been in any big fights. Christ, Taddy, everybody's been in a big fight but me." "Good, you're going to the Korengal Valley tomorrow with Rice." Do you remember them coming back across the Pesh River, and he was in that damn jingle truck? He had like soot on his face. He was out of ammo. He looked at you and me, and he goes,
Hey, I don't want to do that no
he's
more.
like, "I don't ever want to get shot at again." Now, Matt, needless to say, the 3 guys are with us, all decorated for valor, are absolute warriors. But when it comes to comic relief and the most shocking shit I've ever seen that come out of anybody's mouth, it is Matt Sample.
Look, everybody fucks with Sample. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. But I'm going to put this out here. It's his credit. He definitely is no pussy.
Well, thank you.
But you walk into it like no human being I've ever met.
He sets himself up just to get shit on.
I mean, you
Like, hey, you over there, come over and shit on me.
you are not a pussy, and you go so far as that you are pretty much allergic to it as well.
Well,
You are a glutton for punishment.
there's something that I want to clear up.
Well, go for it.
You guys talk about this all the time. The Korengal Valley, you might have been at a firefight near it, but me, Reisky, we were the only ones that were actually in that.
Did he just throw his salt on us in front of everyone? Did he just salt?
Were you in that damn valley?
Oh, my God. You know, I got nothing. He just, Matt Sample, just tried to call us out.
Let me say this, Mike. I've bragged on you guys enough. I do think these 2 men here,
Right,
I would not have had the experience, the great experience of being in the Marine Corps that I did if it hadn't been for these 2 gentlemen right here.
There you go, fucking jumping Ray again. Gonna skip right over your fucking squad leader.
Oh man!
His 3rd favorite squad leader, by the way.
Oh,
We just found out about this whole time. This man has tried to take him under his wing, and yesterday at around 1600, he said, "Who's your top 3?" Fucking Dave, number 3.
Rice, number 1. Drunk Irish Uncle Murray, number 2. Tat Nasty, I'm down to 3. Thanks.
Hey, David, I appreciate that, man. That was nice of him to say.
It was nice of you to say. But you to me, you're just such an anomaly, right? Like I've never seen. It's right on line with like.
You can't explain it.
You can't explain it.
Try to.
It's like the outputs of your actions don't match your words, or your words don't match your actions. But I'm telling you right now, last night Sean said something as we were coming back from the bar. He said, JC and I just offered you shade from the tree of wisdom. And not only do you not take up shade from the tree, you violently and actively refuse it. You're like, go stake me down in the middle of the desert underneath an electrical blanket.
No, he took a chainsaw to the
He cut down the tree of wisdom.
Fuck the shade. I got an idea. Let's cut it down. Let's stay in the wood. Let's stay in the sun.
Ask him about his dating life.
So we talked a little bit about the ladies last night. And none of us here profess to be any type of woodsman. Maybe Bo, maybe Patty.
But not no more.
But Matt Sample was one to claim some. You swing some big lumber, buddy.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Well, no, but
He said claim, Matt.
We're getting it. We're getting into that shit right now. All the illegal shit that you do.
Okay.
Can we bring that up on YouTube?
Yes.
Yeah, it's legal in another
Man,
country.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yes.
Sample, what is the most you've ever paid for a prostitute?
Like the bell.
Speak up. Speak up.
Touch it to your lips.
I don't want to tell you this embarrassing story I had in Vegas.
you're going to tell us.
Tell it.
Hey, we're going to hear it.
Let's go.
Oh, this is
I'm
embarrassing.
sitting up.
But watch this. You owe us.
My college buddies are going to laugh at this. My first experience in Vegas, don't ever buy a girl in Vegas. I paid, it was like $500 for a freaking hand job. And that was it.
Oh my God.
That's it?
Yeah, that's all that I got out of this girl. I got to see her naked at least, you know.
Well, what would it have been to go hit a home run?
That would have been like 15 or 2. That's why I go to Colombia. You got a cheap girl out there, $300 for 5 hours, man.
Matt, I want to do some. You're a savant when it comes to numbers, right?
Yeah,
What's a ticket to Colombia cost?
the plane ticket is cheap. It's about between $250 and $300.
What's a night at the hotel cost?
It's $70 a night.
How many nights you stayed there?
I stay there 4 or 5 nights.
4 or 5 nights. Okay. How many nights do you buy these prostitutes?
Hold on. He buys them for the whole night. He takes his girlfriend from Colombia with him for the whole night.
Oh, is that what you do? Okay.
No.
So she's for the whole night. So how many nights do you pay for her? How many nights is she with you at these hotels?
My favorite friend Lucy. The last time I was there, she was with me.
That's it, and I'm sure that's her God-given name.
Three nights. Yeah, that's her real name.
Lucy from Colombia. Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
She's not in Colombia right now. She's somewhere in Mexico City.
Who's ever out there in podcast like this is not made up shit.
This is real.
If you're following at home, I want you to add these numbers up. Okay, so right now,
$500 a night.
the 300.
300, 5 nights a week, $70.
$70, so $70 hotel room. Like, just the whole week in there, right?
Yeah,
So it's $300 a night.
$500 for the hotel.
And $300 a night.
Yeah.
Okay. What is 3 times 5?
Oh my God.
1,500.
Like the bell.
1,500.
Okay. So you're there for 5 nights for the hotels. So you're 70 times 5.
So what you're trying to tell me is cheaper to go to Vegas?
Yeah, it just hit him.
You tell me.
See, here's the other thing is if you go to the club, it's like it's set up like a strip club, but they have beds in the back room. You don't just get a dance. Like you.
Those beds are something else.
There's times that literally I went back with 5 different girls. They give you a good half an hour. You can't get it all done.
So this is 5 girls a night on top of Lucy?
So was this $300 a piece for all 5 girls?
No. When you go to the back room, that's only like $100, and you get them for a half an hour.
Are you
5 of them.
Not one at a time.
I got a question, man. Are you paying for women that have sex with you and you're not even finishing with them?
I finish.
With all of them?
Well, they.
You just said they sent a mob after you.
This is a little embarrassing, but Lucy told me,
Please tell us.
Lucy told me, she's like, you don't have to be embarrassed about this. They want to see Leche.
Leche. He broke out to the Leche.
And
Please explain to the audience what the fuck leche is.
Leche is the Spanish word for milk. And they want to see your man juice. And I get embarrassed when I can't make that in front of them. And Lucy's like, you don't have to be embarrassed by that. She's like, we understand you can't do that every time. But so that's what limits me with girls is I want to show them the Leche. You know, I can't do that. I can only do that
Say that
twice.
into the microphone again.
What do you want to show you?
They want to see the Leche. I can only make it maybe twice.
If you're watching right now, I need whoever's watching this, clip that and repost that to every single thing we got.
Listen, this is before you find out. Again, this is fucking no lie, no bullshit. This fucking man was on the Judge Mathis show.
Judge Joe Brown.
Judge Mathis. Judge Mathis. So there's more to come.
I didn't tell them.
Man,
When you get this on Joe Rogan.
your sexual travels and exploits are something to just we've all experienced a lot. The shit that comes out of his mouth.
I have nothing to say.
I got nothing.
I think you should wite a book. I swear to God, you publish
Yeah.
it, you can make money.
Well, the title's obviously got to be Leche.
No, it needs to be Trace Leches.
Trace Leche.
Bro, you can write your memoir.
That's a new name.
That was actually my challenge was to make the Trace Leches. I did it. I made it once. 3 times.
Hey, that's his new name. Trace Leche.
Trace Leche.
Took me till about 4 a.m., but I made it.
Tell us about y'all's time together in the Marine Corps a little bit.
All right, so I'll give this back to Taddy. I'll finish up because unfortunately, Taddy was like his big brother, but in Matt's eyes, he was just another person that he just took advice from and used.
I want to hear.
You just threw him to the side.
He's dead.
I want to hear you just.
20 years. 20 years.
I will say this much. We went to the gym today, and
Speak up.
One of my biggest goals in life was I got to be bigger and stronger than my father. And now it was like I have to beat Taddy. And we went to the gym, and I thought, I went to the gym, I thought, what the fuck was I thinking? Whoa, it was a good workout. I was hurting afterwards. Taking this hot-ass gym.
Hey, I was thinking pulling that clip. Like Joe Rogan does. Hey, we got that clip we can pull up. Are you doing the shrugs today with how much?
I think we do got.
We do have a clip.
225.
I can clip it in.
That's a lot of weight for sure.
I can clip it in there.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, as he's just explained of what happened today, I mean, I think that's a lot of what your Marine Corps career was like. Because you like you can see, he's easy to get picked on.
Yes.
But if you knew about our platoon, which we were pretty tight, give us, what was that saying? Give us your broken, give us your
Tired.
And listen, the funny thing is how Matt is like immune to good advice and good counsel. He is on the couch, and in our best estimation, not only in our best estimation, but as identified through the History Channel, he's on the couch with the toughest NCO we've both ever met, and he's on the couch with the best machine gunner in the Marines 2nd Division.
Right.
As noted by the History Channel.
Allegedly.
And he is immune.
Allegedly.
He is immune to taking advice from these two
Well, I'll
guys.
tell you what. I mean, everybody fucks with Sample in our circle, in our company, but let somebody else fuck, but it won't take a baseball bat to their fucking head.
They don't rate it. They don't rate it.
That's right. And I think he knows that. That's why he fucks around so much, because he knows somebody fucks with you. You got a whole company coming.
And I think, with a Marine unit, a platoon or a company, it's just like turning around a football team. Hey, you're going to have good coaches that come in and they're going to say this is the culture now. But now the captains on the team got to get the rest of the team in line.
You're going to have a players only meeting.
So there was potential. It just needed to be organized and managed correctly.
I would have liked to see him. Well, no, I take that back. I'm just glad that I wasn't your drill instructor.
Oh, could you imagine?
I don't think you'd be sitting here today.
I don't like.
Tell me boot camp story.
I don't like boot camp stories, but I'll.
Why? Because boot camp wasn't fun.
Well, no, because it's for boots, you know.
It's boot camp for boots.
Because that's why it's called boot camp.
Well, so anyways, I told you a story one time, and you said to me, you were like, Sample, you wouldn't have graduated, and you're like, you know what? I take that back. Yes, you would have.
You know why? Because I'd probably put my hands on you too many times to drop you, and you'd alligated on me and send me to jail.
Well, there was one time I was in 3rd Battalion. I was in boot camp, and I swear to God, we were in a chow hall. I never got enough food. Never got enough food. And
Who does?
I was.
It's designed that way.
See, I was in the tall line, but I'm the short, tall guy. So I was way in the back. So I was one of the last people to eat. And there was one time where the drill instructor, he said to me, "Hey, Sample, how about you put your food to your face instead of your face to the food?" I had this tiny piece of lettuce in my mouth. And he said, "You want to talk to me with your food in your mouth? Get the fuck out."
Yes.
I was like,
You were hungry that day, weren't you?
I looked at him, I was like, "Sir, this recruit is not finished yet."
Oh.
He said, "Samuel, you get the fuck out of here." I kept eating my food. It comes run over. My tray goes flying across the room.
Like any good drill instructor.
Did you get dealt with back in the house?
Yeah. I was hungry. Man, everyone tells me that's their most funniest moment ever at boot camp was when my tray went flying across the freaking chow hall.
Hey, man, I got a question for you.
These stories never fucking end.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me though.
I want to go back to someplace where Matt has never talked about. Matt, when you decided to join the Marine Corps, when you walked into the hardest working Marine that you ever see, the Marine recruiter, what was that like?
You know, I don't remember it. Honestly, it was. Honestly, I was a knucklehead kid.
You know,
No
way.
Bullshit.
And it was my father who pushed me to be a Marine. He's like, "You need discipline, man. Get in your ass in the
Your
Marine."
dad is a wise man.
You know what? Your dad probably saved your life by making that decision. I guarantee it.
He'll like to hear that. He'll like to hear that.
Go ahead and go look at the camera and tell your dad thank you.
Tell him thank you right now.
Tell Dirk.
I'm still working. The one day that I will say thank you to my father every single day for the rest of my life, if I can get to 100% disability. I'm at 90. I'm at 90. I can't get to 100%. I'm trying.
So it's about money. It's not about the service.
Well, mentally you're at about 250, so we're almost there.
Oh, yeah, I don't know how the fuck you're not hungry. The second you sit down and start talking to somebody, they right off.
Could you imagine how bad he would fuck up a wizard?
Yeah.
Can you imagine him going in for a psyche valve? The poor wizard would be, they'd switch seats. They'd switch seats.
Wizard. Which wizard?
The doctor.
The
shrink.
The psychology doctor that you have to tell all these fucking stories to. That's the fucking wizard.
I've never seen a wizard before.
We can definitely tell that. Man, I'm almost positive you were a number for that month.
You were number 3. Did you get checked or rating for PTSD?
Yes.
What they say?
I got some. I first got 30%, and they were like, "Here, get out." I found a Marine, a Vietnam Marine, who that's what he does for a living, is he helps veterans with their disabilities up in Merritt Island. You know where Merritt Island is?
I do.
And I saw a social worker, and she evaluated me, and she wrote in the report, and they bumped it to 70. That's how I got to 70%.
Are you trying to get extra 30 with the micro penis disability you have?
The old microphiles.
That's service related.
Yeah, certainly.
Speaking of penis, again, only certain people could fuck with him like this. So this was his favorite Marine, Reisky, John P. Reisky, Buffalo Fire Department.
He's a bad motherfucker too.
Yes, he is.
Yes.
And so,
Yes.
Sample, like clockwork, in the barracks, we're on the first floor. We were 5 minutes fucking let go. Shades closed, jerking off. Every time we would see that his shades were closed, me and Reisky kicked in his door.
Time out. Yes, you did. And I remember one time specific.
He had to breach the floor, didn't he?
No. One time I'm going over for formation as the platoon sergeant, and Sample had shut the shades and locked the door, but he left the fucking window open. And I'm walking around the corner, and I hear one of the guys go, they're like, what the fuck is that? I'm like, can I have fucking privacy? And I'm like, what happened? Like, Sample's jerking. I'm like, Sample, you locked the door, you closed the blind, you didn't shut the fucking window. Oh, Staff Sergeant, I'm like, God, you're just. How do you set the mood at like 1600 on a Wednesday where your brother's going up and down the catwalk? You're like, let me go and take care of this real quick.
And that's why it was a mess. I mean, no fucking lie. We kicked his door in so much that he had to slide the rack to where the rack would catch once the door got kicked in, because you couldn't lock it anymore because we kicked it in so many times.
It was the funniest shit. It literally half and half. I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with this door? You're like, oh, he did that because
he slid his rack so the end of his rack would catch the door when we kicked it in.
So then we just start going around the other side. The back of the door.
And explain how the windows work, Dave. How they,
I'm gonna go take a leak real quick. I'll be right
This
back.
is your 7th leak.
Oh my God! You're pissing again?
Dude, get your prostate
Oh my
checked.
God! Oh my God!
and those are my shorts he has on too.
Let's have them. So while we're taking this break, Seabass, you said, what was the first break you said? You said, talk about kind of how we got to know each other.
Just whatever, yeah.
I'll go a little bit further. When you two were thick as thieves. Tad, we still didn't know each other yet. Not yet. But when you guys kind of came to the platoon, you kind of started noticing, Sample, Ski, and I, what kind of drew you the first platoon that kind of made it you knew it was going to be something? What was that point you're like, this is going to be a platoon?
Yeah, really, you guys just got assigned to me, right? It's like, hey, Bo worked his magic and said, hey, this guy's going to fix first platoon. So
Thank God that happened. We talked to that.
We talked about
Colonel last night.
And you go to.
Just so happened I was standing out on the deck, putting a dip in.
Like Daddy says, it's like building a team. All that I heard was, I knew two things. I was getting Dave Childers, who was a known commodity to me, as my machine gun squad leader. And I heard I was getting this really awesome guy named Taddy, who was getting ready to come back from Bridgeport. Yeah. And there was this madman named Reisky. Those were really my knowns, right? And it's
my fucking God.
They're like,
sorry, Jason.
If that's all I've got, I will build from there. And next thing you know, me and Dave were driving around. We talk about this. It's about building trust. But I'm telling you right now, once we got away from the battalion and we're out in Indian country, it wouldn't take long for me or Bo to know I got Taddy, I got Reisky, I got Murray, Childress, Saunders, right? I have good dudes, right? And even some of our wayward, right?
I really believe not only that company, but I believe that first platoon was the best platoon in the Marine Corps at the time. I'll tell you, they were that good. And I've seen a lot of platoons. And it just all worked. Everything worked.
And the most gangsterist white boy from fucking Virginia as our doc. Imagine this. We got a drunk Irish guy leading second platoon or second squad. Yeah. Right, second squad. Murray was second squad leader or whatever.
Straight from
and
Ireland.
our fucking doc drove a yellow fucking Malibu with big ass fucking rims on it. He was about 5'5" and he talked like he was black. Doc Winesek. And he was a good fucking doc.
He was a badass too. He was amazing.
And then I had an angry NJP, Lance Corporal's my other squad leader, John Reisky.
But this is the first time I've heard this. You guys that have been in the military that many years, you really think we had the best platoon?
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. That was the best platoon. Listen, it's like we talked about this yesterday. Like that hockey coach, that the Miracle on Ice. He said, "I'm not looking for the best ones. I'm looking for the right ones." And everything in that platoon fit.
Yeah.
And it became the right ones.
It's like Belichick winning Super Bowls with the Patriots. There weren't a lot of superstars on the team. Well, listen, hear me out here. Weren't a lot of all-pros. It's not about having a team of all-stars. It's about having an all-star team. And look, when guys that were much more experienced infantrymen than me and Bo, like the colonel and the gunner, come up and they're like, "This is the best platoon in the battalion." And not only do they say that, but combat V, combat V, combat V, right? Do you know how many other, you remember coming home, people were like, "Man, those first platoon guys, you're motherfucking right, those first platoon guys." Take it to your grave that you guys
a lot of that
were great.
A lot of that was on you because you took the time and you made sure that your boys got the awards they deserved. You know what I mean?
You know, I remember
you did. I remember you fucking doing them write-ups. You know.
But you know what? Here's another thing. You get to experiment, right? As you get guys, there's things that this is what Marines always do. But it's like, okay, sure, we could have been the drill instructor and went up on post like, "Sample, what the fuck are you doing there?" Or I could walk up with a cold Gatorade and go, "Sample, what's going on?" "Oh, nothing much, Staff Sergeant." I hand you a Gatorade. Then I'm like, "When's the last time you checked the batteries in your MBGs?" "Oh, it's been a while. Maybe you should do that." Now I'll walk away. You don't even remember me saying a thing about checking your batteries, but I gave you a Gatorade. You're like, "This guy's all right." And you know what that built over time? It built trust.
Not only that, but when you treat Marines like Marines and treat them like men, goddamn it, they're gonna act like men, and they're gonna tell you the fucking truth. If you're a bully, they ain't gonna tell you the truth a lot. You know, just because, you know, you still be hard as fuck, you know, but goddamn treat them like men and fuck, they'll act like it, you know?
You guys kicked ass. There's no doubt about it.
I'm going to ask you a question here because, you know, obviously we call you Matt Stool Sample, but obviously you're sitting on this couch because you're sitting on this couch because you are somebody, partner. You went today at the gym. You were drinking. Here's the thing. You're 40. How old are you right now?
Well, I don't like telling girls my age.
Just Leche.
Oh, man. Don't even get laid for free.
Anyway,
Tell them your age.
Matt's 42 years old. Because I know the answer to this question. Let me tell you something. He's 42 years old. He's been drinking for 48 hours straight and still has testicular fortitude to go to the gym with Tat Ness and I. And goddamn it, man, you did it.
Yeah.
And you're here right now. Goddamn right.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you this because I really do want to know this question. When you became under JC and Taddy and all them, and they gave you your team for the first time, so now you are a team leader. How was that?
It was exciting. But I was nervous too because I knew that I still had Reisky breathing down my throat, and he was like, "Sample, that PT is not going away. You better keep running your ass off." He's like, "I swear to God."
Because so you were originally in my squad, and Reisky was your fire team leader.
Yes.
And then Reisky got his own squad.
There go that
and you
loyalty
stayed with him.
Yes.
And you were in his squad, and I had to. You
And he made
you and
you a team
Reisky
leader.
weren't in my squad anymore.
Correct.
Yeah.
So that's where that loyalty comes from. Right, yeah, okay.
And look, I will tell you this, and I remember this. As goofy and as fucked up as you ask, and Christ says it, you will bring it on yourself. You were proud to have been raised by Murray, Reisky, and Patty. Because I remember looking at you when they would PT you and you'd be all red in the face and wore out. You're like, you know, these fucking guys, Staff Sergeant. I'd be like, yeah, but then you're like, you could tell. You would be bent out of shape that they just fucked
And
you.
I remember this too. At the end of the deployment, they took Taddy out of our platoon.
Oh, we don't need to bring that.
That didn't last long.
No. Well, when you were a squad leader under those, you didn't run them like you ran us.
Because I was pissed I got kicked out of my fucking platoon. And then 2 months later, get a meritorious sergeant.
Yeah.
How's that work? Someone not to be named.
But he brings up a good point. When you had to leave us for 2 months, was the loyalty and trust in that platoon on the same level of what we had?
No, I try to build it because I didn't know if I got my squad handpicked, but I would look for the same type of guys that we had. I think I was lucky because did Pete go with me or did Pete?
Yes.
So they kind of put Pete with me, so I at least had Pete. And then, but I was looking for a Mackey. I was looking for a Windsor. I was looking for a Crown and Berry. And like, it just, and again, it's not fair to those guys because I wasn't training with them or had those relationships. So like.
Good dudes.
Yeah, they're all good dudes. Yeah, but I didn't, it's like getting traded to a team. You haven't built that camaraderie.
Build the foundation.
Yeah.
You were
So
looking for the right ones. Right.
and not that I was, being negative about the situation. I still was going to do my job, but it just, I guess, I don't want to say didn't mean as much, but it was tough, man. But we got through it, and then we got back on the first day. And Reisky chasing. That's another good story. He'd get so drunk on a Sunday, Reisky. He would when the Chinese delivery guy would come, and he thought the Chinese delivery guy
Wait a minute.
called him the N-word.
How come Gunny didn't hear about this one?
Well, you were doing your own shit.
We'll come back to you in a second.
This is in the barracks. And okay, first of all, this guy,
So he fought the Chinese delivery.
Hold on a second.
he chased him around the fucking parking lot. Ski had flip-flops on, and he was fucking chasing the Chinese delivery guy. This is what happened on Sundays in the barracks.
Oh my God.
Like clockwork.
This is Reisky again. You talk about him being a fucking Steelers fan. On Sundays, he would play the Chris Berman. We got a fucking...
Nobody circles the wagon.
Nobody circles the wagon.
Buffalo
And it
Bills.
was fucking on. Buffalo Bills Zumba's on. Fucking Doug Flutie jersey.
Shower shoes.
Yeah. So we had Mr. Steeler and Ski was Mr. fucking Buffalo Bill.
Listen,
Man.
I know John's not here, but I remember, we're not going to go into the story why I lost Taddy for 2 months, but we were in a little bit of hot water for doing the right thing. We got through it, but we got back to Bagram. We were at Bagram Airfield, and the Air Force was having an intramural dodgeball tournament.
Yes, they did.
All of a sudden, I'm going over to the community center, rec center, whatever the fuck the Air Force puts together in a combat zone, and all of a sudden, all my guys come flooding out of this center, and I'm like, what the hell happened in there? They're like, Reisky started a riot with the Air Force dodgeball team, and here comes this Air Force guy. It's got all them fucking stripes. I think it's like Chief Master Sergeant.
Yeah.
This dude's throwing a fit. He goes, hey Sergeant, I'm like, didn't call me Staff Sergeant. Who gives a shit, right? But he comes over to me. They just don't know us. We don't know them. I said, look, we just came out of the mountains. My guys have been fighting. He goes, you get them the fuck out of this center, and they are not to come back. He goes, when do you fly out? I said, we're flying in 48 hours. He goes, 48 hours, they ain't allowed back. Reisky had started a riot and damn near a fist fight with the Air Force dodgeball team.
JC, you want the full count of that.
But what happened in there?
Okay. So this is the team now.
Well, of course, I put the team together.
Yes, you did.
I put the team together.
Dave Tanny was the hockey coach, slick back hair, just watching his boys go to work. So of course that team goes to the finals. We knew
We made it to the finals.
Yes, you did. Yeah. So basically, this is how it goes. This is the team. Now I know a lot of people watching the show might not understand them. You might hear these names, but here's the best spot: DeForge, Shanks, Big Thibodeau, Murray, and Reisky. I mean, you talk about that. That's the team. That's going down to the jail, being like, I need these boys.
You can do anything with them right there.
Right. So they get down to the finals. So they call the whistle, and it goes. So the Forge, Murray, it was funny because Murray and Shanks, it was like Master Blaster, where it was, they were just basically each other's wingman. And the other three do their thing. So this is how the first thing went down. They call it, going dodgeball, you go out there, you grab the ball. So the Forge is a quarterback in college, so he's quick with his hands. So he goes, takes the ball, and chucks it. Beams this guy in the chest. This other cat from the Army goes and throws it. The Forge jumps, catches the ball like this, caught it. Like the whole crowd, everybody, Air Force, Marines, Army, everybody's in that clamshell. We're like, yeah, they saw the catch. Army ref, he's out. Everybody was like, bullshit.
That's how it started.
Yeah.
So here we go. So no, hold on.
Hold on. A ruling.
Yeah, this is. So we're all like, bullshit. Ski, guys, calm down. No,
Wait, Reisky was saying.
Reisky was the voice. So we're waiting for the ruling, and then it goes back, and it goes. No, we talked about this. All the refs got together. He's out, and the Forge out his name goes. Oh, fuck you. He took that ball and hit that fucker as hard as he could right there.
The ref.
Boom.
He went after the ref.
30 yards away. Boom. And he goes, you're out. And then so DeForest's like, oh, fuck you. No, Big Tim. He's getting up. That Ski goes in front of everybody. And he goes, no, it's okay. He made a fucking mistake. It's okay. You know, Christopher, you're out here. And Ski went, what the fuck you mean I'm out of here? And that was fucking it. It was fucking on like Donkey Kong. I mean, you talk about a riotous fucking crowd.
I was home already.
You were already home.
You were already home, sir. He had to deal with this shit.
I'm convincing like the base chief master sergeant. I'm like, listen, they're all really good dudes. We all just came from a really bad place. He goes, they are not to come back in here.
Ski was like this. What do you fucking mean I'm ejected? I was like, holy shit.
And then I remember we had to run a PFT before we got home.
Yeah.
So we get back over there, and that guy seen me over there with him, and he's like, didn't I tell you? I said the pull-up bar's outside. As soon as we do our shit, we're out of here.
Do you remember the day we left?
Yes.
Are you talking about Afghanistan?
No, when we left Kyrgyzstan. Kyrgyzstan, or whatever the hell that country
We
is.
promoted you.
Yes, that's how I remember it.
Yeah, that bud. Look at Christ, he's still mad. I did non-reckon. He's still mad.
We had a chance to stop all this.
I forgot you didn't come to Iraq with us. So listen to this, audience. So his boys, he leaves us because he wants to make sure, because a lot of us had to extend to go to Iraq the second time. So
You did.
yeah, I had to extend 6 months. And any of the guys that came in with us to do the back-to-back Afghanistan, Iraq, extended. And of course we were. It's like going in a bar fight with Gunny. And it's like, if you're going to Spanky's, I'm fucking coming to Spanky's, right? So this dumb motherfucker, instead of just going with his boys and extending 6 months, went with another fucking battalion in Iraq so he could get home to watch the Steelers play in the fucking Super Bowl.
And I remember this. Look, me and Bo weren't ones to give a whole lot of counsel about whether you should stay or go. And it was simple.
Because we weren't peacetime.
No.
So we convinced, like when Teddy extended for 6 months, just to go to war with his
brother.
Marines, right?
And we tried with Matt. We tried. We said, Matt, listen, you're going to go to another unit and you are not going to get treated like you do here. And he would say, I'm going anyway. I'm not sticking around here.
I got to tell you.
Right or wrong?
Yes.
Were we right or wrong?
You were right. You were right. This was the hardest decision I ever had to make in my life. I thought about it for a good 10 days. Do I stay with my current unit and extend and go to Iraq, or do I go with 1/6? And I knew 1/6 was going to Fallujah, and Fallujah was a world of hell at the time.
Right.
And I thought about it, and I just, like my dad said to me, he said, Matt, you're going to Iraq. And I was like, all right, I'm going to go. But
Yeah, but with 1/6, you did.
I wanted to finish. I wanted to get out, and I tried my hardest to link up with you guys. You know who stopped me?
Oh, we did try that. I remember.
The Sergeant Major stopped me. He said, you have to be home for 7 months before you can do another deployment.
They stopped the cross-decking.
Yeah, because
I said, I wasn't home for 7 months when I joined your unit and went to Iraq. There was a Sergeant Major that stopped me from joining you guys.
Which Sergeant Major?
I don't remember his name. 1/6 Sergeant Major.
well, it was because we had lost some boys, and we had talked, and we were like, well,
No, this was before you guys were there. I was trying to.
oh, okay. I thought it was like I can't remember what it was, but once we found out that there was a chance you were coming back, oh, buddy, the morale in the fucking company went up.
I tried.
I remember that.
There was like a changeover process.
So life happens, right? Life happens. We get done, and naturally, after a 3-year window, the Marines that you fight with, be it the guys that are going to do an entirety of their profession as Marines, and the guys that do their 4-year enlistment, they all go their separate way. You can't keep it together. It's hard to keep it together. And in that period of time, we stayed close with Taddy. We stayed close with Christ. But then we lost comms with Matt, and Matt was back out into the wild on his own, enrolled in college, and we hear stories of hazing, abuse, all kinds of madness in dorms and joining fraternities. And then you ended up on a TV show. So tell us about your travels once you left the scarlet and gold of the United States Marine Corps.
If you'd have stayed in, you'd be retired right now.
You know what? I've said this several times.
What's that name?
You would have never fucking made it. What's
Could you imagine? You know who he reminds me of?
And your first sergeant sample.
You know who he reminds me of?
Goody sample.
You know who he reminds me of?
Drill instructor, staff sergeant sample.
Maybe. But you know who he reminds me of? Nick Nicholson. Buddy.
Yeah.
He would be loved. He would be the gunny that everybody just loved.
Oh, yeah.
Gunny's cool. He's crazy.
He's great.
So tell us the day you got that check. Oh, Staff Sergeant, I'm going to get the checkout sheet and I'm going back up to Pennsylvania. So you get your checkout sheet, you're heading north. That now start the story.
I used to say this all the time. You know, I never had a problem with the cold until I served in the military and I had to sleep in the freaking cold, wet rain every night. And I thought to myself, I used to say this to Reisky all the time. My next job, I'm going to wear a suit and a tie.
Wait. You call Rice your brother John?
No, I call him Reisky. I don't use first names. I'm going to wear a suit and a tie, and I'm going to work at a desk for the rest of my life. And so I wanted to do that.
What do you do now?
I'm a bus driver.
There you go.
Well, but tell us, please.
This shit is real.
Please, no, tell us. You've got to inform the audience of that magical time from the end of about 2006, late 2005.
Yeah.
You depart the Marine Corps.
Well,
and this new adventure begins. So you join a fraternity, and
I went to college, and what do you want me to tell you?
Nerds? We struggle with nerds?
So this is what disturbs me, and this is what the audience, particularly those that haven't served and really don't know Marine grunt culture. How does a combat Marine infantry sergeant decorated for valor end up in a fraternity and get hazed by a bunch of college douchebags?
Hey,
Because I wanted to be swimming in pussy.
Well, the fuck
That's why I went to college.
boy, that ocean dried up long ago, man.
but did the hazing and the bad treatment did it lead to any scores?
I'm telling you, I have some great friends that I went to college with. This is going to be like gold to them. My buddies Horvath and Schultz are going to watch this. They're the ones I went to Vegas with. They're not going to stop laughing at this. They know all these. They think just like you guys that I'm this freaking lovable jackass.
hold on. Horvat Shorts, if you're watching this, contact us. I want to get the straight
Yeah, we
from
will.
the source.
I think we need to get them in touch with Seabass Productions.
You just get told to Seabass. We'll send you. I want to get you guys. We got your Discord. I want to hear the true behind-the-scenes story of what this cat was like in a fraternity.
They would love that.
Matt Sample, a Marine's story.
Remember when you come to Florida to visit us?
Oh shit.
Yes.
And I took you home to my house.
Yeah, I was
Put
drunk.
you on the couch. You drunk as shit. Laid him on the couch. Got a pillow and everything. Next morning, I walk out in the living room. He's on the floor underneath the goddamn coffee table.
You had a glass top coffee table. I'm sitting there drinking Dunkin' coffee, and there's Matt on the floor like this. It was hard.
Like what's that movie 16 Candles when they find the Asian guy?
Yeah,
he's talking.
In this episode with one more story about him being retarded.
Mathis. Now you get on, Judge.
That was Horvath. Horvath set us up.
He was on there.
So you get through college, you get your degree somehow, right?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, so you got
Wait a minute. You got a degree?
Yeah, that's right.
In what?
Business general management.
You got associates or you got bachelors?
A bachelor's.
Wow.
So Matt Sample. Okay, hold on. Hold on. So I guess my piece is, because it seems to be the most important thing to you is pussy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay?
Microphone.
So you have a degree. He has a degree. He has a combat V, Marine Sergeant Infantryman. It could be raining pussy. And you're not going to get hit with pussy, but you're not going to hit with one dick. You're probably going to get hit with two. How does it happen?
How does it happen?
Well,
Fuck.
Because that's not an easy degree, right?
You just give up.
this is a little embarrassing.
No.
This is a big reason why, for most of my post-college life, I was broke for a long time. I got a DUI, and that disqualified me. I lost like 5 jobs because of that.
It doesn't disqualify
I know
you
like
getting
9
laid.
guys have DUIs. I got like 9 kids, so they were not immune to pussy.
Well,
They're asking you why you don't get pussy.
Yeah, it's not DUI.
That's the
I
question.
like girls that are gorgeous, and I'm telling you, I found the cutest one ever.
Lucy.
Well,
From Colombia.
That's
Oh,
the Mexican. No, the really cute one is the Hooters girl.
That you never touch. You just leave big tips for.
Yes.
And then apparently pay her betting.
But in your head, that's your woman.
I guess so.
Look at the camera right now and say something to her before we do the Judge Joe.
Professional love.
right
Right
now. No, it's right here.
I've told her this all the time.
Well-
Nobody else has heard it.
And she,
Look right there.
She is. I've told her she's my unicorn. That she's that creature that I can't
Get
catch.
the fuck out of here.
We've heard enough. We've heard enough.
This is the
In the mic, dumbass.
This is the JC and Bo show. Here we go.
Perfect.
Oh, perfect.
Well, I got one for you, Matt. I got one for you.
Okay.
50-yard line, front row, watching the Steelers at the Super Bowl. Or a hot woman that loves you that's going to give you booty a couple of times a week for the rest of your life. Which one do you take?
Right now.
Right now. Right now.
You know, I talked to my other. You might be number 4. Number 3 is my squad leader in Iraq. His name is Bartella from 1-6.
Oh, you've been upstaged by 1-6?
And he
Hard
was,
as fuck didn't go from 1-6. No fucking.
he was a Niners fan, and he said to me, he said, Sample, we talked about this during the Niners Super Bowl. He said, there was a girl. I went after the girl. He's like, pussy is more important than the football game. So I would take the pussy.
Yes! Yes!
There we go.
Yes! I was scared to death. I was scared to
He
death.
thought he was coming out here. We didn't know what was going to happen. But all right, you're still in the wagon.
But you know, hey, Sean, the great thing is, we don't have to worry about Super Bowl winning a Super Bowl.
No.
We don't have to worry about the Steelers winning a Super Bowl or him getting laid twice a week.
He's 0 for 0.
So can you go past it with the mic? What is it? Just we got about 30 minutes left of the show, and I want to just come back to what you were talking about earlier. What is it that you have such a difficult time talking to an actual?
I don't have a difficult
Hold
time.
on, you got to repeat the question in the mic.
I don't have a difficult time with women. It's just women in this country that are gorgeous, they're hard. What do you want me to tell you?
Wait, what do you mean
No,
not hard?
I'm not trying to criticize it. I'm just trying to get you to talk about it a little more.
It's just
Your
no
experience-
matter
what's your
how,
experience?
I can't get them to go out with me. What do you want me to tell you? That's why I go to Colombia, so I can have sex with who I want to.
So
You know there are women out there that want to throw out some mercy pussy. And I'm hoping that one of them watches this show and gets a hold of Seabass and says, I want to meet Matt from South Florida.
I'll be happy to meet her.
Well,
All right, listen. You go ahead. We're going to have a special segment. So if you want to go ahead and throw some pussy at a Matt, we're going to sit there. And Matt, if we get enough of that, we can have A, B, or C. And we'll let you select live on the camera. You want to do that?
They used to do that on that stupid radio show too. They used to have girls talk to me.
Speaking of the radio show,
So I just want to explain your experience just a little bit more. I'm just so curious. What is it where's the blockage for you? Where do you get deterred? What stops you from making a connection with a real woman?
And you're not a closer, so what's stopping you being a closer?
I can't get them to go out with me. You know?
I'm the person
I ask them out and they say no.
you're asking the wrong question. You're asking the wrong question, Seabass. It's not about the girl. It's he sets his standards so fucking high that he can only date hot fucking prostitutes
Okay.
because he doesn't want to bang just a normal chick. Like somebody we may meet at the VFW that just wants a honky tonk, yeah.
Let me hear it from him.
So his standards are so high. So what he's saying, I'll let him talk. I'm almost done. Is the women he want to go out with are probably women that only Bodette can fucking pull, or you have to be a fucking millionaire. He doesn't have the looks, or he doesn't have the money. So that's the problem. It's not that he can't connect. It's he sets his standards too fucking high. Go. Like, I don't know you.
So tell me what your standards
well,
are.
fuck your squad leader from 1-6.
What is it that you expect from a woman?
I like Sims. I just, if she's not cute enough to wear a bikini in public, I don't want to be with her.
Can you wear Speedo in public? And pull it off?
I want to eat my cottage cheese, not fuck it.
Oh man.
No, tell me, what else do you expect from
Like
a woman?
I asked, let me think. 1, 2,
Don't hurt yourself.
3, 4. I asked 4 girls. My buddy got married in Disney World. I asked 4 girls to go to Disney World with me. They won't go. What do you want me to do?
How old are these girls? They're asking Disney World.
They're in their 20s.
Can I give you
Hold on. How old are the girls you were asking to go to Disney World with you?
They're in their 20s.
Okay.
I'll tell you this, Lucy would kill to go to Disney World.
Okay, well of course she would.
Lucy would kill coming to America.
From Colombia.
You know what? I'll marry Lucy.
Hey, Matt, check this out. I'm going to give you a little wisdom here. If you'd open your aperture to women that have kids and you wanted to go to Disney World, you would take kids to Disney World and you would get laid because of it.
Look at that.
Young man, you're always going to pay for it.
Hey,
It's just how you want to pay for it.
I got a serious question. And we'll all go around the room and say what you think, I think. But, well, from you, Matt, what defines you? What defines you?
I do 4 things. I work, I go to the gym, I work, I go to the gym, I watch sports, and I play video games.
Drink alcohol might be one of those also.
Well, while I'm playing video games,
Okay, we're up to 5.
sports,
Okay.
Okay. That's
So those
basically what
5 things define you.
Yeah.
Not that you are in the Marine Corps,
Microphone.
that you're not that you are in the Marine Corps, not that you may have a good heart, you that may be generous, maybe honorable, all these other things. Defines you is video games. Are you shitting me?
All right.
Okay.
Tell me what defines you, Sample. I don't give a fuck.
And maybe we could help him with this. How about this, Sample? What good traits that you apply in your life did you learn from being a Marine infantryman?
I am the baddest motherfucker to come out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Well, that's not that. Okay, that is. But what skills lend to you being the baddest motherfucker to come out of Pennsylvania?
This man.
Okay.
It's number 4.
Okay.
This man taught me how to exercise.
Okay. So physical fitness. I feel like we're about to break out some benefit tags here, Marine recruiter.
Hold on.
You take care of yourself.
Yes.
But what about mentally? You fucked that up, didn't you?
I mean, Matt, look, you led Marines. Look, we're trying to give you some credit here. You were a team leader in a squad
With a combat V for valor.
and you helped evac a Green Beret team that was in trouble out of the Korengal Valley, right?
Yes, I did.
And you led Marines while doing it.
Yes, I did.
So
I guarantee it. Those are some of your defining moments.
those are your defining moments.
And
And
you don't even know it.
what we're trying to pull out is there's more substance to you than just this clown idiot frat boy from Pittsburgh.
That's every dime he has on alcohol and pussy.
Yeah.
There's got to be more to you than that, because we've seen it. But I want to hear from you. Now, think about it again. What defines you? Are you a good son? Are you loyal?
Yes. I would say my father, I really wish I could have brought him here, and he could see all this, but he's, 78 years old.
Hold that microphone up. Speak up.
He's 78 years old.
He's one of the things that define you.
And
Right.
he bleeds a lot because he takes blood thinner pills.
Okay.
And he passes out early. So it would have been very difficult for him. But he would have really liked to have seen.
Well, I think you need to sell yourself better, right? I mean, because when we've had your dad on FaceTime or talk to your dad and we start to talk about you, you can see that he beams with pride. So 2 things off the bat. We know that you're loyal. God, if there's one thing we know about Matt Sample, he is loyal. He is going to be here, right? But we also know this. Matt Sample is not a pussy. So
I know that.
there are 2 things right there you already have going for you.
Right there, dude.
You're loyal and you're not weak. There are men on this planet that don't have either of those, and you have both.
And they never will.
And I'm going to say this. If you could just find a way to not make it creepy and weird, you are a funny son of a bitch. You're one of the funniest motherfuckers that I think any of us have ever come across.
Yeah. There's a lot more to you, Matt Sample, than you let.
So right now, there are millions of women out there that would look at you and go, okay, at a minimum. He's loyal.
Work with this.
He's loyal. He's strong, and he's funny.
Hey,
And he's got money coming from the VA, so you know he's got money coming every month.
The buses don't stop here in Broward County either.
Hey, I'll be top paid next August of 2026. I'll be top paid.
So Matt, we're going to end up over at the VFW 4848 here in Chattanooga later tonight. What do you think about linking up with all the fellas tonight over there at the VFW?
It'll be fun. I'll have a good time. I don't usually go to VFWs.
Come for more.
Well,
Why don't you? I already know the answer to the question, but why don't you go to VFWs? Go ahead.
because it's a membership that you have to pay for, and I don't want to pay for a membership.
And what would you say of the type of woman that shows up at the VFW?
Coyote Ugly.
So might be Chattanooga.
Hold on, Matt. It was 2025. That's a 1990s term. Go ahead and explain Coyote Ugly.
Okay, so Coyote Ugly is she's so gross that you want to chew your arm off like a coyote.
Have you ever had a woman say that about you?
No.
Is it because I didn't stay around till the morning?
I've never had a woman complain about me in bed. If I can get them into bed, I can handle. But no, I've never.
We veered off of them.
What does this reunion mean to you?
This was honestly to come here to see the guys that I've served with and how much they love me, and they look very healthy. They're very strong. I was determined. I was determined to be bigger and stronger than them. Well, no, that wasn't happening.
Where did you learn that today?
Yeah, I was we went to the gym. I hydrated a little bit last night. Taddy calls me this morning and says, "You still want to go to the gym, or you a little bitch?" I'm like, "Let's fucking go now." We went to the gym. I don't know what I was thinking. I'll take Taddy to the gym.
Hey, you were doing the shrug 225, looking good.
All business.
Good.
All business.
Dave, what do you think it means to you?
Oh, we're answering the questions too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, if I take a vacation, I'm taking a vacation to see JC and Bo. So then what usually happens is every 2 or 3 years, we just add more people to it. So instead of just vacationing in West Virginia, hanging out with them and, whatever people we meet in that neighborhood, now when we do the reunions, we're adding more to it. But I mean, it is like they had mentioned a couple shows ago. It serves you right, does you right.
You know what it does for me? It filled my heart because to see all you guys again after 20 years, JC? 21 years, and I get to reconnect with all these. I have personally witnessed the best that our country has to offer by far in every single way. And every time I come back and I see it, just reminds me of why I stayed around. Because I just knew it, man. I want to surround myself with winners. And goddamn it, I did. And me coming together with everybody here just reminds me of that. It filled my heart.
It's one thing to serve, and everybody that raises their right hand. It's a big deal. But we checked into a unit that was loaded with men that quit college. They quit their jobs that were making good money because of what happened in 9/11. They knew they were going to war, and that's why they went, man. So to see these guys every time we have a reunion, it's special, man.
Like when they literally said, you know what, I'm going to go to war.
I'm going to go from making $75,000 a year, $100,000 a year to making nothing to being a PFC in the Marine Corps.
Right. Those are the Americans that said, you know what, I may die, but I'm going to go do the right thing. And I'm not going here for college money or that shit. First of all, you don't join the Marine Corps for college money. Okay? Sure, they have all them programs and shit, but you'll never see a Marine Corps commercial talk about money or college. Think about it. You see some motherfucker with a sword fighting a demon or something, right? And that's the kind of people we want, right? And so I just know that I was with the greatest Americans of my lifetime
Absolutely.
And I'm with them here today, and I only see them on the other night at the BMW.
Ain't no doubt.
Well, I mean, I know this isn't the question, but that kind of puts, my story. I had played 5 years of college football. I'm in my senior year. Week 1, we decide to skip class or whatever we had to do, and that's when the trade centers got blown off. So in my mind, I'm going, I'm a physically fit, been playing football my whole life. And that happens, right? And I still remember that day. Our fucking coach made us practice all fucking week. And what happened on Saturday? They canceled all the fucking games. So I said, well, let's see what's important now, coach. When he had to fucking make us practice that day on 9/11. So I said to myself, fucking there's more important things in life than playing fucking football.
Dave Taddy answered a higher calling.
And,
Wow.
Yeah, and then once my senior season got done.
And now your whole life you play football.
Whole life.
And you're a football coach that won a state championship.
Yes, I did.
And that you wearing the ring right now, right?
That's my ring.
Okay. But what was the most important part of your life?
Marine Corps, without doubt.
There you go.
I'll answer the question for me real quick, Seabass, and I'll go into. You asked earlier, what does it mean to you to come to these reunions and spend time with these gentlemen you see in front of us? The biggest thing I think that it is that it's closure for a lot of guys. As you heard a lot of times that some guys will go to a union for 1 deployment or 2 deployments and miss one, they miss something, they kind of blame themselves for stuff. Or Matt, you went to 1-6 and we went back to Iraq. And getting everybody back together, it kind of gives them that sense that, we're still here, we still love it. Doesn't matter whether you left or anything like that. You put boots on the ground. You raise your right hand. You went overseas. You're still part of the team. And for me, the biggest thing is getting back and just getting right where I left off. And I think that's the best thing about it. We've been gone for 10, 20, hell, we started this thing 2021, not 2025. And it seems like it's just another Friday night in the Barracks. We're ready to go out. And just the shenanigans, it's still the same shenanigans, and the personality is still there. Bigger, not so much wiser, but,
Not as lean, still as mean.
So I think for a lot of Marines' mental health, it does some good.
Yes.
They can cry, they laugh, they tell stories, and when they leave here after tomorrow, their heart's going to be full, man.
And I got to spend time with a legend.
Yeah, we got to spend time with a legend.
Go ahead.
This is the other thing that I really am proud of, and I look back on and I think, wow, you did it. I served in the military long enough to know when it comes down to it, World War III starts, you're going to have to go through the Marine Corps infantry. More in particular, me. I am the baddest of the bad. You're going to have to come through me. Special forces, forget them. They're not invading a country.
I need whiskey. I need whiskey.
That's the show. That's good.
Wait, what else?
What else you got? You'll end on that. What other questions you got?
What other questions you got?
We got 10 minutes. What changed when JC and Bo showed up?
It was definitely chaos. The chaos stopped when these guys came up. Okay, they stopped the chaos. We didn't have good leadership. These Marines were good leaders.
If other Marines are listening to this, you would understand this. Again, this is before they got here. His drunk ass wandered to the other side of the barracks, which you share barracks with your sister company. No, we were Kilo, Lima was behind us. He stumbles over there and gets his ass hazed by other Marines that aren't in our fucking company.
This is the hurricane.
So then what happens?
That's hurricane.
Old Kilo company, we squad up and a riot ensues in the barracks. Kilo versus Lima company. And this was the shit that was happening before they got here. They also one time made you do sit-ups and fucking push-ups and bleach in a fucking bathroom.
Are you kidding me?
Well, let's get. How about we change this? Nobody wants to hear about it. Let's talk about.
Well, let me stop you real quick. What happened was if they thought, oh God, we got a dummy checking in and a staff are checking in straight off the drill field. They're going to act like drill instructors. They're going to be all fucking this, that, the other thing. Did we act like that?
No,
Why did
absolutely
we act?
not.
Did we act like? I mean, every once in a while, I'm sure the drill instructor will come out of us.
No, not at all. No, he acted like a drill instructor,
Okay.
as he should.
So
Because
me and JC made a conscious decision not to do that, to turn that off and be infantrymen first, right? And that's what we did.
Events.
And I hope that showed. Now, I acted like I had sometimes to other gunnies,
Never to the boys.
but not to the boys. No, I didn't need to.
You know, I remember one day you were out with Murray, and you all got hit down in a valley, and nobody could influence it, but we had 2 gun trucks parked with 50 cows, and I first went up on this truck, and it's about 2 clicks away, so it's right out of max effective range, and there's Christ. I'm like, well, get on here, man. We had 2 gun trucks parked beside each other, and you know, we just start rocking on these 50s, and we can watch the tracers. It looks like somebody's kicking a field goal of tracers. They're like going way up and coming.
No. Remember when I called it?
Yeah. Well, this is a night before that, but getting over there, and here I am doing talking guns with a boot ass Lance Corporal.
That's right. Oh, that was what that. That's a different ambush.
Yeah. And me and Christ are looking at each other. You know, he's looking at me. He's like, "Am I going to jump up in this gun with a platoon sergeant?" I'm like, "Yeah, Sean, get on that gun. Let's start working." And we did. You know, and I think building that bridge of trust with these guys, man, was you know, it was important, man. So I think we lucked out.
Remember what I said? You know, you got to be a hammer, but a hammer.
Be the hammer that builds.
That's right. A hammer can do 2 things. You got to be very careful. It builds things and it can tear shit down.
It's the same thing Lucy says about you, I'm sure.
We got about 5 minutes.
I would just like to thank everybody that's been watching, that subscribed to us. You know, we don't do this for us. We do this for all the other veterans out there that maybe sit at home and they want to laugh a little bit. They want to remember some stories and fill their heart a little bit. You know, we try to add a little bit of humor and some seriousness to all this fucking madness that this world has to offer. You know, I think we're trying to do that.
Yeah, and I think we, particularly with the 3-6 time.
You know, and then we have haters that don't say shit about us, and then we'll pop up, you know, these keyboard warriors. And I would like to say something nice about them, actually. You go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
I'll bite your fucking nose off.
Man, you don't come in here throwing hate, because I will tell you, if there will be men that go their entire lives and will have never seen what right looked like. I'm going to tell you, from 2004 to 2006, I saw exactly what right looked like. And you know, we talked about this, people, especially old guys. Old guys don't want to get on there and say, "Oh, I'm not getting on there to tell a war story." We lost a brother over there, Norman W. Anderson, and particularly to us, our platoon.
Norman. Wally.
What people don't get is you've got to tell their story. You've got to share it.
Just right? And you quit talking about them. That's when they're truly gone.
That's when they're truly gone. So you
I cried about him twice.
We cried about him many times.
Right.
And then the point is, you got to share the story. People got to know the stories about their heroes. So we don't share this to be like, look at me and Bo. It's we want to share the stories because right now the conventional Marine, the Marine that does God's work, that's an E2 to an E5, they don't have a platform. So if we can carry some of that and get guys on here that have kicked ass on behalf of their nation and share the story to make people feel good about America, we should do that.